everyone, Katherine Jarris here. Pronouns are they, them, and theirs. I am a professional psychic, and I'm also a professional brow artist. And Psychic Brows is the channel where I combine both. Thank you to everyone who liked the last episode where we talked about how incredibly important it was to distinguish between the energy of somebody who's passed versus someone who hasn't passed. Now, this week's series, we're going to be discussing the mystical roles of our animal companions. And today's episode is all about animal speak and how it saved our Angel just in time. Angel is a cat family member of ours that has been with us going on, it'll be 3 years this December. And when one day it was a weekend, and it was a Sunday, I believe. We were just having our normal weekend breakfast time, my husband and I, and we were in the middle of it. And we had not been looking for any type of addition of a furry member to our family. We, at the time, already had plenty. We have some dogs and we had a cat, and we weren't actively looking. We're out of the blue, we decided to look at our local Humane Society website page, and there was no reason to. It was just one of those moments where if you followed your intuition or your guides, or that you hear that, you just do it. And so it made no sense, but we decided, we just started looking. And there came up Angel. And Angel's a tuxedo kitty, black and white, and she was what they call a forget-me-not. And that means basically they've been there a long time and haven't been adopted, and so they feature them as a forget-me-not in hopes of somebody seeing that and reaching out to possibly have them join their family. And the reason I got pulled to Angel had a connection with my guides, actually. And I had very recently just started working with one of my guides, whom I call Angel, and who is not an actual angel, and that's a story for another time, but they let me call them Angel because that's what I thought they were the first time I saw them. And so Angel was fresh in my mind. I had just done some readings that weekend, the day before or so, and had been working with Angel, and I don't know how to explain it sometimes with my guides, but sometimes when I'm supposed to take note of something, it's almost like they put a spotlight on it or like highlight it for me. So it was like that when I brought up the page of the animals. It was like there was a spotlight put on Angel, and then her name was Angel, and then everything just fit into place, right? And I think a lot of people, when they've adopted a pet, or they often say like, oh, they reached out to me, I felt them, it felt right, we had this connection. And again, it was very weird because we weren't looking for an animal honestly, not at all, and I didn't really honestly want to either. And so, but yet we felt this calling towards that. And my husband, Mel, was the one who said, we need to go see her today. And I was the one that said, no, we had a lot going on. We didn't have a lot of time to finish stuff. And I was like, honestly, she's a forget-me-not, and she's not going to get adopted today or this week. What's planned for next weekend where we have more time to work with this, and if we do end up adopting her, then we can prepare for her as well and have the space set up. And Mel was kind of quiet, and then we were continuing on with our food because it was our breakfast brunch time at home, and Mel just stopped eating, and he was like, no, we gotta go right now. We have to go right now. And I was like, really? And in the middle, I had stuff, I hadn't cleaned the kitchen yet. And Mel was like, I really think we need to go right now. And then I took a moment then and tuned in, because we've learned to do that with each other and honor what the other person is saying, whether or not we're hearing it at the same time. And I was like, all right, okay, give me a minute. And, cleared up everything. I mean, so we did it so fast that I didn't even put the stuff away. Like the food that we hadn't eaten, I put in the microwave so the dogs wouldn't steal it. And the dishes were dirty, but put in this thing. Nothing was really taken care of other than the quickest, get it out of the way so we can get out of here and go see Angel, because Mel was just like, we need to do it now. And so we did. And when we arrived, we had the mobile, on our phone, and we were all ready. We came in and we went up to someone, because we went and looked for her and we couldn't find her. And so we went to someone that was working and that was on the cat floor area and said, we're looking for Angel. We saw her on the website and we really want to, meet her. And they were like, what? We were like, Angel, she's on the website. She's a forget-me-not. And black and white tuxedo kitty, and 12, I think she was at the time, 12 years old, a little older. And they're like, and then they started to panic, and they're like, she's not on the website anymore. And we're like, no, yes, she is. That's why we're here. We saw her. And they're like, she was supposed to be taken off the website. Hold on a sec. I don't know. She's not here. Hold on. And then we were just kind of left standing there while they went and pulled another staff person who pulled another staff person. And then they're doing this huddle where they're talking, but they're looking at us, but they don't want us to hear what they're saying. So they're distanced from us. But it was this it was something was going on, and they were trying to figure it out, but not have us aware of what was being figured out. And then somebody comes over to us very businesslike and is like, so you were here to see Angel? And we confirmed that. And then they were like, okay, well, we're looking for her. And we're like, okay. And they're like, she's not up here. She's not on the adoption floor. And so we're trying to locate her, and we're just going to have you wait over here while we do that. And we're like, okay. So then we're set in this little seat, just these tiny little seats. We're just sitting there waiting while they are, I have to say, frantically, talking to their walkie-talkies in person. It was about 3 of them that kept doing this, and they would, look over at us, and they would try to keep their backs to us. And we looked at each other and we're like, something's going on here. And I was like, I don't think they know. That's where I started to think, I think she's scheduled possibly for euthanasia or something, because they wouldn't say where she was, and they didn't know if they could still get her, and they knew she was, but they were saying, she's downstairs. We're trying to locate her downstairs. That's what it was. We're trying to locate her downstairs. I don't know what downstairs is, but the fact of it is a heartbreaking truth in regards to rehoming of animals, is that a lot of them, if they don't make it through a certain amount of time and there's other animals coming, as low as they attempt to keep a euthanasia rate, it does happen. And I will say, first and foremost, that our local humane society has an incredibly low euthanization rate, and they work really hard to keep that. But, it is a reality of it, unfortunately. And so yeah, we just waited while they kept going back and forth. And then kind of the main person, she comes back to us, and she's very You could tell she had great news. She comes up, she's like, okay, we've located Angel and they're going to be transporting her up to you shortly. So can you just wait? Because they were like afraid we were going to leave too. Like they kept checking and I was like, will you wait? Will you wait? We're trying to locate her. And then when they did, they're like, okay, we're getting her transported up here. If you can just wait. And we're like, okay, yeah. I mean, we're like, that's why we're here. We're not going anywhere. We came to see Angel. And so then they eventually brought Angel up and they put us in a room with her. It's a get to know each other room, a visitor room thing, and it's glass around it. And so they had Angel in the room. They got her and they brought us in there, and the person that set us up was just like, oh my God, this is just so amazing. I can't believe you're here I can't believe it. And that everyone was so like excited that they found that first it was the frantic. They didn't know where she was. She wasn't supposed to be on the website. She was taken off of it. They couldn't locate her. They didn't know if they could bring her up. Then they were so ecstatic that they found her and so worried we were going to leave. And then they were so ecstatic to have us meet her. And everyone just kept saying this gratitude. And then there's just like, oh my God, you're here for Angel. Oh my God. Right. And so we finally get to meet her and we're in the room with her alone. And we met her. We talked to her and we met her, and Mel's walking around with her in his arms and she's rubbing up on us before that, and I didn't hold her, but she wanted Mel to hold her, and but she had rubbed on my legs before and after that. And so anyhow, eventually somebody comes in the room to check on us, and they came in and they're like, oh my God. And we're like, what? And they're like, she doesn't let anyone touch her. We've never nobody can touch her without her biting. She has, all this issues with biting people. And, okay, sorry, I just, make sure I'm back on. For no reason, the camera stopped showing, even though it kept recording. And I had to make sure I still was still recording. But I am going to come back to this moment in a moment. I just want to interject on that with Angel. She had a really hard time having her photo taken. We adopted her, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But, and now I'm talking about her. I talked to her before I did this recording, and I asked her permission, and then I said, I'm not going to have you on it. You don't have to worry. But she's very concerned about, her privacy, so it was okay. So now the camera just bleeped out. So I'll come back to that in a moment of why that's significant, okay? But back to where I was. The worker, one of the workers that was setting us up with Angel came into the room and was just absolutely flabbergasted that she was letting Mel hold her. She was in his arms. She was not aggressive at all, and there were no issues. And they had said so, like, she's never let anyone pet her. She won't let anyone touch her. And they were just like, I can't believe this. And I just remember it was so funny to us because Mel just looked at Angel and looked at the worker and was like, seems fine with us. And she was like, I just can't believe this. And I said, well, I mean, she called out to us. That's why we're here. And they just kind of did this at me. No answer. And I was like, okay, because it was all kind of a weird situation. So I think they were probably processing a little bit of it too, And then they left. And so they were with her for a little bit. And we were like, well, I guess, nobody's come back. So we should go ask for the adoption paperwork and get this going. And so I went out to find someone, and I couldn't see any of the several people that had been involved with this when we first came, but there was somebody out there, a little bit of a younger worker, and probably mid-20s or so. And I went up to them and I said, oh, hey, I said, we're ready to start the adoption paperwork for Angel. Would you be able to assist us with that? And they looked at me and they go, Angel's not here. And they were like, what are you talking? And I said, no, Angel, we're adopting her. And she's like, what? And And she was so confused. And I pointed in the glass through, and I said, Angel, right there, Angel, she's with us. We came to see her and we're going to adopt her. And she immediately got full of emotion, and she just was like, oh my God. And she's like, oh my God, you're adopting me. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I didn't think she was here. Oh my God, I'm so glad. I can't believe that this is happening. Bless you for getting her. And so, you know, it's never been confirmed for me one way or another, because I just kind of go through life like things happen. But these were some reasons that I believe that she was possibly scheduled for euthanization, or something was going on, because this person teared up and was so grateful and thanking us and saying, I'm so happy she gets to, and she like stopped herself and then said, go home with you, you know. And so, you know, she gets to live is what I took out of it. So, but anywho, so Angel ended up coming home with us to like a parade of workers saying gratitude and just happy and so excited for her. And also everyone a little bit looking a little like, I don't know what's going on. And then we went home. And I would love to say that from the moment Angel came home to us, she was in a loving home and everything was great and it was perfect. And I think that it would be awesome to think that that's how someone needed, was love and everything was going to be okay. But unfortunately, we are always a product of our experiences, and those experiences just don't go away because someone now shows you love, right? I mean, that's why it's hard sometimes for people exiting a previous trauma relationship to enter another one, no matter how healthy it is, because they have to heal from that other stuff. And our animals are no different than that. And so when Angel came, we made sure she had the space that she needed. And she literally hid in our closet, like our bedroom closet. It's big, but I mean, she hid in the corner of the closet for, I don't even remember how long, but it's like we couldn't get her really out of that and it took time, and some things with that. I started to get a little worried because she hadn't eaten for I think it was 4 days, and Angel, she wasn't undernourished anymore. She was actually a little bit of a heavy cat, and I was like, oh my gosh, she hasn't eaten at all. And I was starting to get really worried. And I know they can go a long time, without eating. But the fact of it is she wasn't eating. So she wasn't, well, whether, it was physically or emotionally, but felt very strongly it was emotionally. And so, you may have heard psychics say, it's kind of hard to tune in sometimes when it's too close to you, whether it's yourself or it's someone you really care about, or you're emotionally involved in the situation you're trying to tune into. And so I hadn't really tried to tune into Angel until I decided, I was like, can you please, people pay you to do this. I need you to, and I was like, yeah, we need to do this. Because she hadn't eaten, and it was 4 days already, and want to make sure obviously we could help. So I did tune in, and what I remember from it was so clearly that I was trying to just be like, what can we do for food for you? I tried to tune in about like the big picture of what was going on with her, and she didn't want to let me in on that. And remember how I've said before, we have free will, people have free will. Animals have free will too. It just gets taken from them a lot. And so, she didn't want to share her previous life with me yet, and I had to accept that. And so, I went to the next thing, which was, okay, well, what can we do right now? Because obviously you need to eat. And I got very clearly in my head the Meow Mix tune, if anyone remembers from the commercials. Meow, 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 right? And I was like, okay, whatever this brand is, Mel, I need you to go get it. What I'm getting is that The food that she got specifically was purchased by her previous guardian from like Cub Foods, that kind of grocery store, not like a pet store boutique kind of food, which is what we had on hand. And I'm like, you gotta go to Cub Foods and you gotta get this dry food that's that Meow Mix jingle tune. That's what she wants. That's what she ate before. That's what I'm seeing is what she ate before. And so go get that. And because we had tried our dry food and other wet food and other brands from our store and all that, and nothing was taking. So sent Mel to get that. And when he came back with it and opened the bag, it was one of those bags. I don't know, it was probably like a 5-pound bag or something like that. She literally crawled into the bag as much as she could and just started eating and eating and eating. And I was like, okay, thank goodness. Emergency situation 1 got addressed. We got her some food that she wanted that reminded her of home, and she's eating now. And that was step 1. And we, from there, I would connect with her and I would let her share with me at the level she was ready to. And the thing I kept doing during this time was basically saying, I love you, right? And letting her know that I loved her. She had, Mel was allowed to touch her and pet her. Not hold her again at that point. But if I tried to pet her when she first came home, she would bite me. And I call them snake bites. And I would never do anything. I would actually hold it, even if it was like incredible pain for me and she was like clatched onto me. I would hold it until she let go, because I very strongly got a vision of a home between her original guardian and us that she was rehomed in, where she got smacked. And it was almost like she was waiting for me to smack her and testing me on it. It was like expected. And I wouldn't. And sometimes it hurt really bad. And I would just wait and I'd say, okay, well, when you're ready to let go. And then she would let go and she'd be like, all right, today, fine. You're fine. And then, so we went through that for a while, but I was always telling her, letting her know, I love you. We're here for you and we love you. And here's where it turned, where it changed though, is that, and that's my whole thing of like misconstruing that all someone needs is love and they're fine. I mean, you probably talk to a lot of people who have adopted other people who, come to them at, a non-infant age and have experiences that are tangible for them. And to just say, you just need to give them love is super simplifying. And no, it's delayering things that have happened before that you didn't have any control over, but neither did they. And just giving love isn't always going to solve it for someone. And so with Angel, that was what I was doing though, was just being, all right, I'm calm, I'm patient, when you're ready, and know that you're loved, right? And then the day that it switched, she let me in is the day that I realized what I was doing with that. And I got her, I was sitting in her bed and she was near me, and if I would try to pet her, she didn't like that if I came at her head. But I was told in my ear, gently come from behind her head. And I asked and I did it, and then she actually went on my lap and sat so she was, facing away. So what I've clearly got the vision on was her with her original guardian, who was an elderly male, and sat in front of the TV a lot, watching TV, and she was a lap cat. She sat on his lap and they both faced the TV, and he pet her the whole time. And so I connected on that with her, and I started to do that. And then I asked, can you share with me about him? And she did. And that's where I learned all the things that were their things. You know, it was a small place. It was a small home. So our home, you know, was kind of overwhelming for her. It was 3 levels and other animals and a lot of, you know, things, activity that she wasn't used to. And which is why she hid in the bedroom. We used to call her the princess in the tower because we had a cat tree in front of the window in the bedroom that once she finally got out of the closet, she went to that window in that cat tree, but like she wouldn't come out of it for anything. We're like, oh my gosh, she's the princess in the tower. She's never going to come out of the tower. And but she shared with me the reasons for this and started telling about her previous guardian and how basically what I learned is he had to go into an assisted living type of situation, and she couldn't go with him. He was losing his eyesight, and there was concern with him and like kitchen stuff and stoves and things like that, and they got separated. And she was all he ever knew, and she was so loved by him. And yes, she got a lot of junk food. She shared with me that she loved Cheetos, not something that we'd typically have, but afterwards to test it out, I did give her a Cheeto for her, and she gobbled it up, and we shared that memory. But what I did in that moment, instead of just being like, we love you, we're ready for you when you are, because we love you. What I did different in that moment was I said, I know we're not your first choice. I know if you could be, you would be with him. And that's okay. And you can have all the time that you need, and we are here. But I understand if you could do it differently, you wouldn't be with us, you would be with him. And that was when she let me in, because I allowed her to grieve. And we just grew from there. And now she is the matriarch of our house. All the other animals, she has relationships with them all. She explores the whole house now. You know, the first time she came out of the bedroom, you know, because first it was the closet in the bedroom, then it was the tower, the princess tower in the bedroom. The first time she ever came out of the bedroom was when Mel was playing piano, and she came and she peeked her head out, and I saw her. And then she came a little bit further, as you can, you know, he was just playing, and then she peeked around the stairs, and then she came down the stairs, and then she peeked around the corner, and she made her way into the living room. Right here, the piano's behind me. And she found a seat on the chair to the left of me here, and she got herself a front row seat, and she just sat and enjoyed the music and had a connection and a memory with that. And so now she's just part of the family. She moves around. She still likes her space. I get it. So do I. But she demands that I pet her, so much so at night that she, in my sleep, likes to give me nibbles to make me pet her when I'm like half conscious. She sleeps on my head. She sleeps right here. She forces me to pet and rub her, and she purrs like crazy. And she always comes out when Mel's playing piano to join us again. Oh, before I sign off, I have to tell you about how Angel didn't like to get her picture taken. So when we first brought her home and wanted to like take photos of her to share with people and all of that, anytime we tried to take a photo of her, I kid you not, the photo wouldn't register in the phone. It was as if we weren't taking a photo. It would just be a blank square, like a black square. And we realized it was happening. She would never look at the camera. as soon as she realized we want to take a camera, it was like this, and then the pictures would never come out. We wouldn't have an actual picture, and it was kind of weird, but like weird things happen in our life. So I think sometimes with some of the weird stuff that happens, people are like, why wouldn't you look into it more or something? I don't know. I just get used to stuff and I'm just like, whatever. And I go on. But after a while of it, when it kept happening, we had a relationship going then, we had connected, and I was like, what's going on? I mean, because she obviously didn't want her picture taken and the camera wouldn't record it. So I asked her, hey, can you share with me what's going on? I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Can you share what's going on? And that's when I learned that the last time she had her photos taken was for the Humane Society. So, they put your adoption photos up. And, that's when she lost her guardian, and that's when her life changed, and it wasn't so great because she did have one rehoming that wasn't awesome. And it was a bad memory for her. She didn't want to be on it. So it didn't have a good association for her. So, of course, went through the assurances that that's not the case. So she does let me take her a photo now, but it's kind of funny in the sense that she won't really let me look, but they do register now. And she's kind of like, okay, that's it. Like, I get like one, or she's like, I don't want it. So yeah, that's why I'm not surprised that the camera twice during the session has blanked out on me. And like, Angel, you're not even in the video, okay? But that's our Angel girl. So, anywho, thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the like button and join us for tomorrow's, where I'll tell a story about our Sammy cat, our little alien kitty, whose favorite game is Sammy Ouija Tales. Hey, thanks for joining. If you like more psychic or brow-related content, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you won't miss any episodes.